Hello, this is Angela with Parker's Permaculture. Welcome back to Housefrau Friday. This is a regular weekly segment where I talk about the overlap of the pursuit of ecological living and those necessary domestic skills that help get us to a place of sustainability. So it's a hot summer day here, and I have a regular video coming out later that I had scheduled to come out today on Housefrau Friday, but I seem to lately be having twofers on Friday because there's so many things, both practical skills wise and philosophy wise, that I want to cover. I've actually been thinking a little bit about my forecasting and plans for the fall and winter for this YouTube channel. And one of the things I keep thinking about is I might actually do like a Housefrau week, maybe in late November and again in January, when I tend to have kind of slow seasons in the garden, but there is so much going on inside the house and inside the kitchen. So I'm kind of playing with that idea of what that might look like. But considering I have things I want to talk about every Friday, sometimes twice a Friday, that is something that is like in the back of my mind, and it might come to pass. So keep your eye out, maybe in November. But I also want to take a couple of minutes here and talk about something that happened to me today and kind of my thought process. Okay, I had to take a second and swivel the camera because the sun is just, I didn't want y'all to be blinded. So a typical morning for me in the summer is quite busy. In general, I'm quite busy. It tends to lately look like work, and more work. I get up early. Usually my husband makes coffee, thankfully. The poultry have to be let out. If it's not a hot day, I'm gonna make bread. If it is a hot day, I'm gonna start dinner in the crock pot outside, which, by the way, today's video that's coming out later is a cooking video where I talk about how I use the maximum amount of whatever is coming out of my garden right now and make fabulous pasta and pizza sauce that my kids love. So, I do a lot of kitchen stuff in the morning, and then I sit down and I edit video. I edit more video. I make the thumbnails in Canva and any other cards that have to go in the videos. I have to download them to my phone and then upload it to YouTube, and that takes a long time. And then I'm also trying to work on updating my website behind the scenes and trying to blog a little bit. And then I have to pay bills and deal with my own paperwork. And then I have to go visit my dad, and I have to pay his bills and manage his financials and book his doctor's appointments and take care of that kind of stuff. And then I come home and take care of more of the domestic needs of my household. And I have to find time to unschool my children in there. And then also film videos throughout the day. So it just feels really harried, and like I'm not having as much time for some of the things that I really value. One of those things in particular stood out very strongly today. So I have 4 kids. They are 19, starting college, 17, 14, and 11. And we've really struggled this summer to find time for all 4 kids and me to hang out. Had a number of wonderful outings and even just like quiet, close connected time at home, one-on-one or two-on-one. And my kids had mentioned, we need somewhere where all 4 of us go somewhere with you, Mom. And I've just been so busy, it hasn't happened. I have been so busy focusing on providing for the physical needs of my family, the financial needs of my family, working on work, working on meeting the physical needs of my household, that I've neglected a little bit the reason that I became a homemaker in the first place, which is that I want to caretake for and connect to the folks in my household. Now, not every homemaker is a parent, not every permaculturist is a parent, but we live in a home with other people. Maybe it's with your partner, maybe it's with your partners and your best friends, maybe it is with your children, maybe it is with parents, maybe it is with some other kind of household level community that you choose to create. So when we are homemakers, we're striving to meet the physical and emotional needs of our household, to provide for our household, and to have that deep, intimate, connected kind of relationship with folks that we share a home with, right? Even if it's not children, it could be our kids, but it could be all these other ways we could create a household. And for me, I've been so busy focusing on, okay, I really need to focus on finances. I need to focus on, working on paperwork and bills and building my business and trying to take care of my dad's financials. I had lost sight of the fact that there are real emotional, psychological, and connection needs that we all have as humans. And I think so many of us are struggling with something similar because we live in a culture that intentionally, I want to say intentionally, whether or not you think it is, it feels very intentional to me, seeks to isolate us from the human connection that we all need and crave. We are so much busier in late stage capitalism, in a struggling economy, in a society that has very fractured political views, very fractured world views in general. We are now so isolated from each other that we struggle to have community in a meaningful way because we are having conflict with each other, but also because we are so busy trying to get our basic physical needs met that we don't have time for anything else. And that's what was happening to me. Like, I wasn't able to find the time to have that cohesive connection with all 4 of my kids. And if you're the parent of multiple children, you know that is important to have one-on-one time with your kids, but also to have time where all of you can have positive interactions as a group, right? Make those memories, make those meaningful connections as a group. So that's what we did today. I didn't make the videos I had planned this afternoon. I did have to rush over and take care of things for my dad, and we left straight from there and we went to the Sandy River and we played in the water all afternoon. So important. As I was sitting, my daughters were laying out on the beach blankets and the boys were splashing in the water and having a wonderful time when Hal and George had been so isolated from each other much of the summer because they have different friend groups and they just hadn't really connected really well. I was sitting there watching all of this and feeling like this is what it means to have a family. When I'm a homemaker, it's about creating those opportunities for relationship building, for connection, as much as it is about caring for the physical household and the physical needs of my family. And so I was working on some hand sewing and chit-chatting with my daughters, and the boys are telling jokes from the water and we're all laughing and interacting. And I just feel like I need more of those moments in my life. And I don't know how, in our current culture, our current economic situation, the current way that American life goes, how I'm going to get more of those moments. And so if you're finding yourself in a similar situation saying, the reason that I became a homemaker, the reason that I run a household is to provide for all of the needs of the folks in my household. And that includes the emotional needs. It includes our inborn human need for community and connection. How can I create time in a culture that seeks to make us busier and busier and busier just so we can pay the bills, just so we can meet our very basic needs? So that we are not so consumed with work that we neglect to take care of our hearts and the hearts of folks in our household. I don't have a great solution, but for me, the solution this afternoon was just to drop what I had planned. I will stay up late tonight and get my bills paid. I will stay up late tonight and I will edit footage. I will stay up late tonight and work on fixing my website. For me, finding that time to honor my kids' request and need to have all of us connect together and spend really important quality time together had to come first. And I don't know how in our current society we can continue to prioritize those kinds of needs. They need to be prioritized. Our lives should not look like this, where we have to make the choice between caring for the physical needs of our family and the anxiety that comes when we feel that we are not in the financial situation we need to be in, or our house is a total awful chaotic mess and our chores around the house, our domestic needs are not being met. And yet also feeling that we have that tension pulling us to meet the needs of connection and relationship with the folks that we live with. So I'm gonna actually go home and have a very late dinner because I, after dropping the kids off from the river, had to run and take care of another couple of things for my dad at his assisted living this evening. And so I've not yet had dinner, even though my husband and kids have had dinner together. But I don't have a solution. I don't know that this video is solution based. It's more commiseration if you find yourselves in the same situation that I find myself, where I want to prioritize connection and I have become so busy thinking about the physical needs that I am neglecting this other area, and I don't know how to restore balance. I don't know how to juggle both those balls. It's either set one of these things down so that I can meet these needs, or it is set these things down and meet these needs. And life shouldn't be that way. We should have the ability to do all of it and not be completely depleted as people and sleep deprived and out of hours in the day. So I guess what I'm asking for is broad systemic change, which would be permaculture design. But in light of the fact that we can't make rapid change in our society, and those changes are slow to come about, permaculture says slow, small solutions, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments on what you do to strike that balance and make sure that all of those needs get met, including your own, and how you are facing life in a really uncertain political climate, uncertain economy, life in a time when we want to be caretakers and it feels really impossible to meet all of the needs in the system in which we must function. So I would love your thoughts. I just want to encourage you, if you are in that position that I'm in, you're not alone, and it's a difficult time to try and strike balance. And I hope that you are able to find it however you can. If you have things that work well for you, please share them with me and others below. And I will have a video out later today that is a cooking video using produce from my garden, but this is a little bit of a wax philosophical, so thanks for hanging on with me through this, and I'll be back later. Thanks.